Hi guys, Simon Trezellian here, a bit more of a voice of reason. A lot of people have been asking me about the election coming up. It's only less than a month now. And there's a lot of things to actually bear in mind. This is not just a normal, red versus blue election. It's a little different, and I think people get that. A lot of things have been put aside and circumvented to give the people what the elites want them to have, as opposed to like a true democratic or constitutional process. So how did we get here? Well, you've got to remember that the actual American system is skewed towards the two-party system. Republicans versus Democrats. They always try to offset any type of third-party candidate. And of course, under the Constitution, you have three branches of government. So you also have the Electoral College, which is really unique in the world. Most countries have a first past the post or a clear system where they have a token opposition party, but it doesn't really matter. Places like China, Turkey, Russia. But with the Electoral College, it's very different, because the founding fathers actually did it so with anticipation that the big cities would actually get involved and have a majority of people. And they think differently to the people in the rural areas, which is the old America, if you like. And they devised a system, just like within the Senate, so that each state had two representatives. It doesn't matter how big the state was. And with the Electoral College, it meant that even small states did have a voice within the government. And all this talk about trying to take away the Electoral College is simply the elites trying to say, we know better than you. And at the end of the day, what that would mean is that California and New York would essentially just rule the whole of the United States. So people in any other state, the other 48 states, just wouldn't get a look in. Doesn't matter what they would think, what they would say, what their values were. If it didn't correspond to the coastal elites, it wouldn't get done. So over the last 30 years, pretty much all of them, in fact the last 34 years, 28 of those years have been under the rule of the elites and these certain families that that rule, and that's essentially the Bushes, the Clintons and the Obamas. We only had one blip, and that was, of course, the Trump years. And that really threw everyone for a track, because Clinton was on track to win that, and that's what they expected. So it was just going to be business as usual. And if you see, there's lots of pictures here. These guys are all friends. They always sit at funerals together and events together. The Bushes, the Clintons, and the Obamas. And even though the Bushes are supposedly Republicans, they are still, they say, well, it's left and right, it's still two wings of the same bird. So what we have here in this particular election, something changed. And it was really interesting, because obviously we've never had in the history before where a sitting president was likely to be taken down because of mental acuity. And that's exactly what we saw with Biden. Even though they spent months and months trying to shore it up, saying, no, he's sharp, he's great, everything's good. And then the powers that be, and with these people, I am talking the Pelosi's of life, the Clintons and the Obamas. These are the powers behind the throne. These are the ones that actually make the decisions. And it was decided at a very early stage that Biden was a liability. It was shown in all the polling. Harris was the least popular vice president in the history of forever. And people seem to forget that. And that Biden was slipping in the polls dramatically, to the point where they knew he was going to lose. So they concocted a plan, and that was, to create the debates. And they wanted an early debate for the first time ever. Okay? Why did they want an early debate? Because they knew that Biden would likely fail, and that would give them the impetus then to replace him in plenty of time to get a good campaign going, where they could bring in new primaries, new people, and get a fresh approach. And I think that's what the Democratic Party wanted. What screwed that up was that all the money was actually into the Biden-Harris campaign. So it meant that this 290 million or whatever it was, could only be accessed by Biden or Harris. Otherwise, they'd have to give all the money back. So it was a fiscal decision. And this is where Pelosi came in, and it's pretty obvious what happened. It was a coup. It was an absolute coup to get rid of Biden. He fought tooth and nail to try and stay in the race, but it was just too much. The media was engaged, and all of a sudden now he had to get out. But the plan was to actually, at the conference, was to have a new primary where it was going to be a free-for-all. And guess who was going to be in that free-for-all? It was going to be Gavin Newsom. It was going to be Hillary Clinton coming back for her last and final go at the presidency. And there would have been a couple of other also rounds as well. But Harris would not be there at all. I mean, she's never won a primary. She's never won a single delegate vote ever. And so that was what the plan was actually to bring in a totally new game, totally new team, and to get in. Now, what screwed that up was that Biden then sanctioned Harris. So that meant the money could go to her. So now they had to have her. There was just no choice. So this is why Obama took so long in giving her any type of sanction. They didn't want her because they knew that things were going to go badly. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because the polling would suggest that even though it's going to be a tight race, chances are, through the Electoral College, that Trump is likely to win. That is why they brought in Tim Waltz, who's probably the worst VP candidate that anyone could ever imagine. A serial liar. I mean, well, what can we say? I mean, everything he says just turns to crap. So I think that they realized that there was going to be a problem. Now, if you are in a football team and you know you're going to lose the championship, but you have a really good chance next year, but so you don't want to play your best team. At the final season, you know you're going to lose. Why would you even risk your quarterbacks and your really good team when you know that you're actually going to lose? What you do is that you keep your powder dry. Okay, you keep your good team for the next championship. So the Democrats know that they've lost this one. That's why they didn't want Josh Shapiro to go in. Josh Shapiro is one of their rising stars, and they need Pennsylvania to win. So why didn't she pick him as VP? The reason that she didn't pick him as, well, the reason that he wasn't picked, let's put it that way, as VP, is that they didn't want to use him. They didn't want to use him up. So they know they're going to lose this time. So they just got second rung Tim Waltz. We can lose him. We can lose Harris, because it's important that they win next time. Okay, 2028. That is the crucial election. Why, you may ask? Well, it's a certain thing called Agenda 2030. If you look up Agenda 2030 on the net, you'll see what that is. It's a UN initiative where everything changes in the world. This is the globalist agenda where everything changes. This is where there is a globalist policy, financial policy, a one world bank, one world order. All of that type of thing comes under 2030, including eugenics. So massive health issues, which would probably be another pandemic, worldwide pandemic, in order to bring down the population. And they'll do that with vaccines, and they'll do that in a number of areas. That's the big one. So they want people in place in 2028. So even if they won this election, chances are that Harris will continue to be unpopular, and that means that they would lose next time, and they can't afford to lose next time. They must win next time. So what you're likely to see is that Harris will lose, Tim Waltz will go into the ether and never be seen again. And next time, what they'll do, and the Obamas will do this, okay, so this is all Obama, right? This is his plan. So his plan will be to say, well, we tried it, guys, but America is just so misogynist and it's so sexist, you're just not ready for a black woman president. We tried it, we did our best, and we nearly did it, but it's America's fault. It's your fault. Okay, that's what will happen. But next time we'll get it right. Next time we'll give you perhaps another black woman, perhaps Michelle Obama, backed up by Josh Shapiro or Gavin Newsom. Not Hillary Clinton. She's going to be too old. But those are the figures that you're going to actually see. They know that Pete Buttigieg is not going to be ready for it, and of course, chances are that America wouldn't accept him as president anyway. So that's what I think is actually going to happen. They're going to just cut their losses with Harris. Go, well, we tried it. We're going to do the best we can. What they're going to concentrate on now is trying to keep as many Senate seats and congressional seats as they can to give themselves the best possible chance in 2028. So that's my evaluation. And I got to tell you, just by way of a disclaimer, I'm British. I don't even vote here, so I've got no real skin in the game. But I do see what's going on. I do see strategy, and I do understand the politics of it. So that's me, Simon Trezelyan, out to you.